tough night for your team here. How would you sum up the game?
Well, it's underperformance from us, and it's a bit the same story like always. We have okay start. We don't finish our half chances. We don't feel it when the game is already there to put to bed the first 15-20 minutes, and then we concede one counter-attack, which is far too easy, and from there we struggle and lose the next match.
You looked very frustrated on the touchline.
Of course.
What was your main frustration about the team going forward? I saw you being particularly unhappy in the second half with what was going on down the left-hand side.
Too much to analyze. I'm a part of it. And we are clearly not there where we need to be and where we can be. So it's on me, it's on us. We need to find solutions.
What are the elements of the performance that are missing right now?
At the moment, everything is missing.
What happened when you were booked by the referee in the second half?
I asked him to push, to continue. That's all what I was doing.
What did you make of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's debut? A difficult situation for him.
I will not talk about individuals today. We play as a team, we lose as a team. It's what it is.
How do you feel about the confidence of your team right now? Because after that goal went in, they seem to shrink.
If it seems like this, it's hard to argue against it. It's hard to argue against it. You can analyze it like this, of course.
What do you see your role as now in terms of how you try and get a reaction out of the players? Because I'm sure you've tried to already.
Sure. And I need to find a solution for the next match, of course.
And what did you say to them at half-time?
We made some changes. We encouraged them. We told them to play with more emotions, to play tougher, to step up, but it's obviously hard at the moment for us.
Are you worried by the start to the season?
No, not really. It's not enough. It's not enough. This has nothing to do with a worry. It's a reality.
Thomas, thank you.
Well, I'll tell you something, it's never easy to interview a losing manager, especially with the manner of the defeat we've just seen. So Archie did really well there. Peter, what's going wrong? Because he spoke very, very honestly there, and when he was asked what went wrong, he said everything. But he's not wrong, is he?
No, he's trying to bite his lip. You know, I said in the first 15 minutes, it was the way they approached the game. I think they took Zagreb far too lightly. They got in positions, they were cutting them open the first 15, they were taking liberties at times. They were playing a final pass that wasn't there. Just go and be clinical. Aubameyang gets in twice. Go and be clinical, go and kill the game, and then make it easy for yourselves in the second half. Obviously, Zagreb then go and get a goal, make it so difficult to sit back, and Chelsea just couldn't break them down. But I thought they were too lax in every department, and I think, you know, he was trying to bite his lip there, but I think he would, you know, had stern words after that, at half-time and at full-time.
It's part of the problem, the fact that there are so many new signings. We spoke about it at the very start of the show, and it takes time to gel.
Yep, that is part of the problem, but Thomas is right. He when he says everything, because the word that sprung up to me when I was trying to pick the bones out of it was balance. You know, last year, even when Chelsea wasn't playing well, you had Rudiger and Azpilicueta, two experienced players who've been at the club a long time, you know, who'd be able to stop the counter-attacks, you know, and then Chelsea didn't score enough goals last year, but they were solid. You know, this year you've got players come in, and any manager will tell you when you're whether you play a back four or back five, when you're changing the goalkeeper, the back three constantly personnel, it can become difficult. We highlighted it before the game, the midfield, the balance in midfield. We're going to look at that in a moment. You know, that was off today far too often. And then the front three, I mean, you made 4 or 5 changes in that area. You know, and they was all low on confidence. They're all quality players. We can't forget that. You know, they're at Chelsea Football Club for a reason. But for some reason, it's just not happening for the likes of Pulisic and Ziyech at the moment. Havertz has had a few moments this year. Even Mason, to a certain degree, these quality players, it's not happening for them in the final thirds. And when that's not happening, you need the structure behind you to be solid. And at the moment, for the first time, it's not. And Thomas did bite his lip. Crouchy was right. He will have words, and he will have a plan for Fulham on Saturday, because they need to bounce back quick.
Well, it's 3 consecutive away defeats for the first time under Thomas Tuchel, and that is exactly why he's frustrated. And, of course, the game changed, didn't it? I mean, they started really well in the first 10 to 15 minutes, but then when Orsic scored the goal, it completely changed, Crouchy.
Yeah, but you know, when you lose games away from home, a lot of it's down to mentality, to character. There's too many players, I think, in this Chelsea team that you can't hang your hat on. You can't. They're going to have great moments. Havertz, Ziyech, you know, they're all top players, but they're going to have moments. They're not going to. Throughout a whole course of a season, are they going to get you away points? Are they going to dig in when it gets tough? Are they going to get results away from home in Europe? Like, I love them as players, but I just think that there's too much. It's too easy for them at times, and it would frustrate me if as a Chelsea fan, that would really, really frustrate me.
Yeah, I mean, Fofana, he gets in, he goes in when he should drop off, and then when it becomes a foot race, a fully fit Fofana, you'd back him to get back in there. He wasn't fully fit. Obviously, he's getting up to speed, so all these little details play.
Great header here from Petrovic.
Yeah, we have to give a lot of credit to Zagreb, but yeah, there was just off. That little Fofana-Koulibaly partnership when they went back to a 4 still looks shaky.
It's new, though, isn't it?
It's new. It's new, and you know, you want to give them. You're not looking for excuses. You want to give them reasons. Like that is but they have. This is the Premier League. They're professional footballers, and between them, they've got to get it right, and they will get it right because they're top players. You know, but unfortunately, fans are impatient. You know, the new ownership group's impatient, and they want to see results straight away. Tonight was a tough one to swallow for Chelsea.
Yeah, time. It's a big commodity and the most precious commodity in this game, whether you're a manager or a player.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they have to get up to speed really quickly, but this is a bit of a theme. You know, West Ham, they were lucky on the weekend. You know, Leeds, Southampton, and again tonight. I mean, on paper, Chelsea side far better than Zagreb, but attitude, mentality, Zagreb walked all over them in that department.
Talk us through one of Kepa's saves.
Yeah, I mean, Kepa was the only one who not the only one, there's a few that come out of here with a lot of credit tonight. Kepa coming in, first game since March. You know, he did everything he had to do, and he did it well. He didn't have a lot to do, Seema, but this is an outstanding save, you know. And as it leaves the foot, he gets across, he gets his top hand to it and touches it onto the post. You know, this is another problem for Thomas Tuchel. You know, Mendy's been off form. Kepa's come in and done OK in a difficult night. He
did. I mean, that was a great save. I think he did what he was asked of him. I thought him and Reece James at times were probably the only sort of couple of players to come out with any real credit out of that game.
And let's not forget that he came into this team under a little bit of pressure because, as you said, he hasn't played in the Champions League since December. His first game since March.
Yeah, I mean, you talk to people behind the scenes, Kepa, and he's really applied himself and he's been diligent in his training because it's a very difficult position when you've been bought for that time for money and then you become the number 2. So Thomas said before the game he deserved to play. He come in, he took his chance. We might see... Thomas, look, he's done everything... when you're a player out of the team and you come in, you have to perform. He's done that and he's given the manager a decision to make on Saturday.
Let's rewind to the top of the show when we discussed at length Chelsea's system. Tuchel spoke about it, didn't he, very honestly, with Rio Ferdinand in that great interview. Yeah. Did the system not work tonight?
No, I thought they were caught short in midfield. You know, there was 2 in there against 3 at times, and I mean, look at in that instance there. I mean, he walks through the midfield. I thought they were slack in their passing, and then Dinamo Zagreb broke really, really well, and then you know. Petkovic held the ball up really well, and Orsic was a foil, and they defended for their lives.
We talked about balance, you know, and Mason and Kova, you know, they both would like N'Golo Kante next to him because he's got that instinct where he won't let there be overloads in midfield. He sniffs it out. But at this moment in the game when Chelsea were pushing, they were throwing bodies forward unnecessarily and then leaving gaping holes, you know, and you've got to give credit to Zagreb with the pressing. But then when Chelsea won the ball, look at that. At any point in the game, there should not be that amount of space. Look at the 5 players Chelsea there watching as Kova's trying to wriggle out of an area and he's got 3 Zagreb players around him. Now, that sort of thing, we talk about mentality. Now, if they was playing a Man City or a Liverpool, they wouldn't be there. They'd be back into a position and they'd be dealing with it. So there's still hope that because it's the basics, Seema, that they're getting wrong, there's still hope that it can turn around quickly, but it's still a big job.
Yeah, it was a complete lack of respect, I thought, for Zagreb. Like, there was 5, 6 players ahead of the ball there when he's in a difficult position, and no thought of what ifs or, you know, what if he loses the ball here? You know, can we get back in? For me, too many players strolling about, and they got what they deserved.
And also, from a striker's perspective, when you look at the chances that Chelsea did create, they were still lacking that cutting edge in the final third.
Yeah, I mean, this is when they were chasing it. I mean, he was offside here, and that was the correct decision. But there was far too many opportunities. Great new technology, by the way.
We like it, don't we?
Best thing of the night, that, so far.
But, yeah, they huffed and puffed. The final ball wasn't good enough. And got a credit to Zagreb. Their defending was magnificent tonight, really was.
Yeah, that was poor on that occasion, you know. It's decision-makers, isn't it? You know, just...
Desire as well, though, Joe. Like, you know, you've got to get across them there. Like, no, in quite a few of these instances.
Yeah, I mean, there's no problem with the occupation in the box. It was just, it wasn't falling. And then decision-making, like here, you know, if in the midfield, now's the time to play that to Reece James and he gets a shot off or he crosses it and it's probably a goal. But then you overthink things, don't you? When things start to... you get a crescendo of bad decisions and things go wrong.
Even there, even there, I just feel like Havertz there, like, it's not forceful enough. It's not with enough belief, that header. And these are my frustrations.
I mean, this is an outstanding save, you know, and he didn't do much wrong there. But then on this occasion, we're talking about senior players. You know, we had the one free kick, it was powder puff, and then you can see them arguing over it. I think, you know, Reece needs to take charge of the situation here because, you know, but Ziyech, he fancies himself. What I would say, he's got the confidence to step up, but you have to have a feeling for yourself.
Who takes control in that situation?
For me, the leaders on the pitch should go, he wasn't at his best, Hakim, you know, and he's not been at his best, and he's come in and he's trying hard, he's trying to make things happen. He's just had a free kick in exactly the same position there. You know, the leaders on the pitch should have gone, Reece, who was like Crouchy's right to say, was outstanding tonight, who's been our best player. You go and have a go. Do you know, like little details like that, you know, that Thomas that will be noted by the manager, for sure, you know. The frustration is the quality's there. Like you said, we've spent 250 million. They shouldn't be, and I can't see it happening for much longer, putting in performances like that on the biggest stage because of the level of quality of the players and coaches at the club.
We'll continue talking about this straight after the break. On a night, we take all 3 points against Chelsea at home, and they haven't actually lost at home since last December. What an incredible record. Now, we have spoken at length about Chelsea, but we haven't mentioned Aubameyang. Of course, he made his first start, didn't he, tonight for Chelsea. What did you make of his performance, Crouchy?
First 10, 15 minutes, I thought he was going to get a hatful. We were discussing how many goals they were going to score. I mean, he was in this position, he was getting in the right areas, and he looked sharp, and I just thought that, you know, he's overplaying. You know, in that position, I just want him to be a ruthless killer. You know, that's what he has been in the past. And this type of run is perfect, but I just thought, I think they all thought it was going to be an easy night for them, and I think if they take these chances, 2 or 3, go 2 or 3 up, it becomes an easy ride for them, but in the end, it was the exact opposite.
Yeah, I mean, all of his movement in all of these clips was very, very good. He looked a little bit off it tonight. It's understandable, you know. There's been an incident, and you know he's come from a new club, and the deal would have done last minute. So you're gonna give him time. That's a no-brainer. But he just looked slightly off it tonight. 20
touches, only 3 in the box for him tonight, Crouchy.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you know, he didn't set the world alight tonight, but like Joe says, I think, you know, we can't go too early. You know, he had a difficult time at Arsenal. I think he did well. It was positive, the move to Barcelona, and he's come here and it's off the back of something, you know, awful that's happened to him. So we can't judge him solely on tonight. He got in the right areas, but I didn't think it was the greatest debut for him tonight. Now,
you've both been in a position before where you've been in teams where there've been an influx of new signings. Yeah. And I want to take it back to that point that we were saying before. How do you deal with that? Does it take time as a player to get used to each other?
Yeah, well, of course, it's an interesting one for Thomas Tuchel because he said there, he said, well, everything was wrong, you know. So I think that the 3 things that stand, or the 2 things that stand out for me tonight, I think he needs to settle on what he thinks his first choice front back 3 is going to be. So Thiago Silva is going to be 1. You'd expect it to be Koulibaly and Fofana, and just be working on them because too often tonight, Chelsea were caught on that counter-attack transition where Koulibaly wasn't on the right side of him. Now, he's come from playing in Naples where he might have been asked to do that, you know, and he's had years and years of doing that, but under this system. So you need to find the time to work on them as a unit, you know, and you need to be consistent. And like you said, time's a commodity that we don't have in football, particularly managers. So that, and also getting N'Golo Kante out of the injury room, get him on the pitch, but find balance with 2 in there. You know, because like I said, Mason Mount, outstanding play. We all know how much I love Mason Mount, but he plays off the left, he plays off the right, he plays in the midfield. And that's OK when you, like I said, when you've got a solid base. But when you haven't, you know, you're playing in that sort of that 2, sitting in front of the 3, and you're mopping it up and you're trying to do things. You might need a partnership. You might need just to go with them 5 players in the next 3, 4, 5 games and just be solid with them, keep them on the pitch and get them disciplined and give us a base to work from. And I think if you do them 2 things, I think you'll start to see rewards.
That's why I was asking the question earlier, actually, about, you know, you said in the second half against West Ham, they were really good, they were much better, that perhaps Tuchel could have started with that 11 that he had in that second half to build on something. Yeah,
but I think they don't have as much control, you know. I think losing Rudiger, losing Christensen, Kante being injured, they're 3 in the dressing room and defensively, and I don't think they would have allowed that many players to sort of go forward and not get back. You know, like, there wasn't enough sort of communication. I think Koulibaly's obviously new to the league. Fofana, you know, as Azpilicueta went off, there's probably not a voice or enough to get them back into shape because they didn't control the game. Zagreb came with a game plan and it worked to absolute perfection, and they couldn't change that round, and that was an issue to do with perhaps leadership and to do with so many players coming into the squad that are new. And Joe, you mentioned about, you know, what's coming next with the coming games. Tuchel needs to settle on a defence, really. Well, he's got these games coming up, and there's some tough fixtures there. Fulham is never an easy fixture because it's a London derby, then it's Salzburg, Liverpool, Crystal Palace, AC Milan. It doesn't look like a very easy fixture list. No, and often when you're in these sort of situations, you often end up getting a look at the next 6 or 7 games, and it's the who's who of world football. And it always looks tough when you're in that position, doesn't it? Always looks tougher. It's like anything, in any walk of life. You know, when things ain't going well, the next day looks tougher. But you've got to get the lads in the... I'm pretty sure the lads will be in tomorrow, and Thomas with his team would have like, you know, he would have digested the game, he'd watch it, he'd have a plan for Saturday. And I think pretty much what you said, the word settle, I think he'll want a team to settle, and that takes time, and you have to use every moment you get in the training ground to get that going. And then Saturday morning's a huge game. London derby, will be there at BT Sport with the big man. I'm looking forward to it. We're all looking forward to that one for sure.